Hey guys, Beat 1500 here. I just wanted to get on here and talk about the truck a little bit, um, and a little bit about myself as well. So, back nearly a year ago now, I had a Mustang. It was an '04 Mustang, and I loved the car. It was an amazing car, but it had its issues. It's hard to remember a lot of them, but I can tell you a few of them right off the top of my head. The main issue being with a gas leak from the filler neck. So the car originated and was built and stuff like that in I think it said Michigan on the tag. Um, it was a northern car by far, and it was brought down here for auction, and it was bought off of a guy, crackhead. I tell you that now. Um, Bought it, got home from school, and was given to me, but my money bought it. So I got through half of high school with that truck nearly towards the end of the year, or the Mustang rather, nearly towards the end of the year. And in January 1 year ago, um, I was going to school one day, and I flew off the road because of black ice, and I may or may not have been going way over the speed limit. Um, and I hit a tree doing 55 miles per hour, and the car was deemed totaled, of course. Um, but before we go that far, um, the car also had a lot of issues, with you know keeping it registered and stuff like that. The car was broken into a few times. Um, it was broken into a few times, and when we bought the car off the crackhead, um, the tag that he gave us was a fake one, and we had no clue because it was so legit. Um, I was driving around. This is before I got my learners, or not before I got my learners, but before I got my license. Um, we were stopped by police, and we were told that the tag was fraudulent. Luckily, I was literally right in front of my house, so that was no big deal. I told them, "Oh, we'd get the tag tomorrow," you know, and that was that. Got the plate and all that stuff taken care of, and that was that. Anyway, I wrecked the car, and it's a done deal. I'm back riding the school bus. Mind you, I'm only 19 years old, so it's kind of hard. It's kind of embarrassing too. Being 19 years old, when every one of your friends are driving their vehicles to and from school, to and from work. It's just you feel you feel embarrassed about it starting off because like I said, you're 19, you're on a school bus. Anyway, I crashed it in January, and February I was on the bus the entire month. And then I was scrolling through Facebook Marketplace one day, and I come across the truck. It's a 2002 Ram 1500 ST, V6. It's nothing special. It gets me to and from work. So the truck itself is a whole damn story. Blue Book has gotten reports and numerous reports because it used to be a fleet vehicle. Um, the vehicle was wrecked 7 times by 7 different people. One of the instances where it hit a guardrail and it fucked the entire front end of the truck up. And a lot of things are not the same as they were. Body work was done and it looks brand new. Um, it was stopped at a red light one time and it was rear-ended. It was smashed in from the rear by a truck, which is why the tailgate and the bed are two different colors. Um, because it crushed the bed of the truck. Anyway, I've been having that truck since March of last year. I absolutely love the truck. You know, there's nothing mechanically wrong with it. I kind of use it for, day-to-day basis, which is why I named it Beater 1500, because, the truck itself, it's kind of a working man's truck. So, excuse me. It's kind of a beater truck. It's always been used for work. So when I got it, on the day we got it, the guy who owned it before me, absolute fucking idiot. I tell you that. Anyway, my mom and dad went up there when I was at school. And when they went the first day, it was my mom and my granddad. And then they couldn't get the truck to start. The guy told him that his granddad was a mechanic, and he didn't know what was wrong with it, and he couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. So my granddad, got a bit of a short temper, I would say. Kept cussing him out, and my mom was like, "You know what? You need to go. We're gonna come back. Me and my dad are gonna come back." So the next day, it was like 2 days later, and my mom used to work at a junkyard, Paul Puller. And she tried something with a fuse, and the truck started right that. So, here's the kicker. He said $500 if we get the truck to start. But the truck itself is a little rough, I would say, with paint. But mechanically, there's nothing wrong with it. So I use it, daily basis. Started making content with the Mustang. Kind of wanted to continue what I was doing with it, but with the truck. And graduated high school with that truck in May. Not done too much stuff to it. The headlights, taillights, rock lights. I got 210s in the back of it, in the back of the seats. And I got brand new tires I paid $800 for. Ridge Collars. I love the hell out of those tires, but the only thing that I'd say is the issue with those tires is that they like to pick up huge rocks. Not a big issue in my book because the truck's already in pretty bad shape cosmetically. But they sling up and hit the truck. Not a big deal, like I said. Anyway, so that's the truck. Me personally, I grew up here in Georgia, and I've always been fascinated with cars, and cars have always been a hobby of mine. I was scrolling through Instagram a couple days before the Mustang, and kind of got hooked on it again after a long hiatus from just not really listening or being interested in cars. And then the Mustang popped up, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. So, that was that. I've been running with it ever since. When it comes to me, 19 years old. 19 years old and still have, I got my high school diploma. Looking for something that I can do, on the sides or whatever. I had a job, and some things that happened there, and I quit. Unfortunately, I had to quit. So I've been out of work for a couple months now. I had to be looking for a job, so I'm just gonna throw that out there. Don't sit there and say that, oh, well, he's just at home doing nothing. Well, that's not the case. I got buddies on the side. We go hang out and stuff like that. And that's that. This video is just a bit of a summary on who I am and how I came to be, and what I do on a daily basis. Vlogs, be like that. Be like vlogs and shorts and stuff like that, reels. But that was that. I hope you guys, kind of have the same interest that I do. And I'm hoping to see this truck grow. Maybe picking on another project here coming up months. If things are going to go the way that I plan them to. So I kind of keep an eye out for that. So that was that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's my first video of 2026. My first video on this channel, actually. So I hope you guys have a good day, good night, whatever time it is. So yeah, peace.